any phone company in the United States, more reach actually than your newspapers by far, more reach than a lot of your traditional forms of communication. Therefore, today I'm signing an executive order to protect and uphold the free speech and rights of the American people. Currently, social media giants like Twitter receive an unprecedented liability shield based on the theory that they're a neutral platform, which they are not an editor with a viewpoint. My executive order calls for new regulations under Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act to make it that social media companies that engage in censoring or any political conduct will not be able to keep their liability shield. That's a big deal. They have a shield. They can do what they want. They have a shield. They're not going to have that shield.
No,
my executive
you don't
order
write the
further
law.
Instructs the Federal Trade Commission, FTC, to prohibit social media companies from engaging in any deceptive acts or practices affecting commerce. This authority resides in Section 5 of the Federal Trade Commission Act. I think you know it pretty well. Most of you know it very well.
Article 5 of the Federal Trade.
Additionally, I'm directing the Attorney General
We all know it well.
to work cooperatively with the states. He's
Cooperative?
going to be working very much and very closely in cooperation with the states to enforce their own laws against such deceptive business practices. The states have broad and powerful authority to regulate in this arena, and they'll be doing it also, and we encourage them to do it if they see exactly as we've been seeing. It's what they're doing is tantamount to monopoly.
Yeah, he's calling for it. He's not writing a law of any kind. He's calling for.
Can't let it happen.
He might as well tweet.
We're not going to have a democracy. We're not going to have anything to do with a republic. Finally, I'm directing
Every country is a republic unless they have a king.
develop policies and procedures to ensure taxpayer dollars are not going in any social media company that repress free speech. The government spends billions of dollars on giving them money. That's enough. So we're going to be doing none of it or very
I was
little
actually
of it.
waiting for something.
As president, I'll not allow the American people
Billions
to be
of dollars
voted by these
on
giant corporations. Many people have wanted this to be done by presidents
giving them money
for a long time. And now we're doing it.
Hey, Chris. Hey,
and
Sherry.
I'm sure they'll be doing a lawsuit. And I'm
Hey,
also
Joe G.
sure that we're going to
Two
be
Joe
going for
Gs.
legislation in addition to this. And the legislation will start immediately. And I tell you, I've been called by Democrats that want to do this. And so I think you could possibly have a bipartisan situation.
But right now we have nothing. What you've done is nothing.
It's unfair, and it's been very unfair. And we'll see what happens. Any questions?
Mr. President, given your concern with Twitter, have you given any consideration to deleting your account, to just walking away from the platform you've been so critical of?
Well, you know, if you were fake, I would not even think about it. I would do that in a heartbeat.
I'm real,
but
sir.
the news is fake.
They give me money. The news is fake.
It gets printed in newspapers. If only the public could understand where, you know, they're reading a story and they think it's real, and it's not real in so many cases.
Newspapers are not protected by Section 230.
You have some great journalists. You have some journalists that I have great respect for, but largely, I find, at least in a political sense, there's so much fake news, it's disgraceful. I would do that in a heartbeat if we had a fair press in this country. I would do that in a heartbeat. There's nothing I'd rather do than get rid of my whole Twitter account, but I'm able to get to, I guess, 186 million people when you add up all the different accounts and add Facebook and Instagram. It's a lot of people.
It's many of the same people, but he can't
the media companies have, frankly, by a lot.
Hey, Josh,
so if I get a
the president's signing some toilet paper.
Put a social media. I don't usually use the word Twitter. I say social media. But I put something out, and the next day or the next hour or the next minute, everybody's reading about it. So I'm able to refute fake news, and that's very important. I'd like to ask the Attorney General, please, to say a couple of words. And very strongly behind
Let's stick the DOJ on him.
Backing it very powerfully.
Again,
we're
not
doing
illegal.
This. We're also going through Congress.
What Trump just signed changes nothing.
Mr. President, one of the things that I found has the broadest bipartisan support these days is the feeling that this provision, Section 230, has been stretched way beyond its original intention, and people feel that on both sides of the aisle.
So let's have the legislation
years ago to protect
change
the
it.
fledgling industry, and its purpose was to allow websites that were serving as essentially bulletin boards for diverse third-party content coming
Like
on,
Twitter.
To say that you're not
The same thing that
responsible
helps
for the
Trump
content
exist
of
on
that
Twitter.
third-party information. And it also tried to encourage these companies to take down things like child pornography or human trafficking advertising and things by saying if you act to remove this kind of objectionable material, you won't be liable for taking it down. Now it's been completely
Which is a
stripped
fact check
to
on
allow
Trump's
it to
tweet.
become
Exactly
really
what the law
behemoths
asks them to
control a lot
do.
of the flow of information in our society, to engage in censorship of that information, and to act as editors and publishers.
That is
of
correct,
material.
Diana.
So when they put on their own content, like fact-check,
Barr is giving us a summary before any of this
content
happens.
onto other people's content, and when they curate their collection, and when they start censoring particular content,
Which is what
including,
Facebook has been
in many
doing for
cases,
months
the
now.
direction of foreign governments like communist China, they become publishers.
Or Russia in the
and they
2016
shouldn't be
election,
kind
but
of the same
we're a little
kind of
late.
shield that was set up earlier. Now,
Drinking
this
word
executive
shield.
order is a very strong step toward addressing this problem. It sets up a rulemaking procedure that will eventually be under the FCC to try to get back to the original interpretation and understanding of Section 230. It also empowers the Attorney General to work with state attorneys general to come up with model legislation that addresses this at the state level. And we're preparing federal legislation, which we
That already
will be
exists.
sending over shortly for review at the Office of Management and Budget. So this is an important step to get back to the original
This is just
understanding. You know, there's
verbal
a bit of
kitty
a bait and
litter.
switch that's occurred in our society. These companies grew because they held themselves out as public forums, as free public forums where a variety of voices and diverse voices could come on and be heard. That's how they grew.
No, because they grew because they're interested.
That's how they attracted the eyeballs. That's why people joined them. But now that they have become these very powerful networks of eyeballs, now that they've grown by holding themselves out as free public forums, they've now switched. And they are using that market power to force particular viewpoints. And that's wrong. And it has to be addressed not only through this executive order, but I think litigation going forward, and by further action on Capitol Hill.
But lying about California's election is not wrong.
Do you have any questions for the Attorney General?
Yes, actually, I do. Mr. Attorney General, not only have you been against Section 230, and the President has been against Section 230, the Vice President has said he's against Section 230. Do you believe that the executive order that the President is about to sign in any way repeals or amends Section 230?
Or
No,
mitigates.
It doesn't
No.
repeal
No.
Section 230.
The answer is no. It
I'm
does
not
nothing.
against Section 230 if it was properly interpreted and properly applied, but it's been stretched, and I don't know of anyone on Capitol Hill who doesn't agree that it's been stretched beyond its original intention.
Anybody
I
who
think
uses
this will
social
help
media
get
can ask
back
for a
to the
refund
right
unless it's Patreon.
Mr. Attorney General, can you give
Then
us
that's
more
it.
details
You
on
can't.
the legislation both you and the President referred to? What do you want to do in that legislation?
Well, we're still reviewing a number of possibilities, and
They don't even know what they
One
want.
of the things we may do, Bill, is just remove or totally change 230. What I think we can say is we're going to regulate it. It's a provision, and we're going to regulate it. You take a look at this as an example. This was just out.
Oh,
Twitter
paper.
moments
Uh-huh.
on the Mueller witch hunt.
Yeah.
So we won.
Oh, thanks
We were
for
in the
holding it
right. You see what's happened? It's a total fraud. It was a total fraud. 76-1. Okay, 76-1.
Do you know what you're saying?
That's fair. Twitter classifies the term illegal alien as hate speech. Illegal alien, and viciously. You look at what China.
Viciously?
Just article after article.
Okay.
Here's one. This is the arbiter. This guy.
Which
He's the
they're
arbiter
supposed,
of
they
what's
are
supposed to go
supposed
on
to,
Twitter.
under the law,
He's the one he
get rid of
thought that,
offensive material.
He thought, and if you use CNN as a guide, CNN, which is fake news, he uses CNN as a guide. His name is Yoel Roth, and he's the one that said that mail-in balloting.
So now
mail-in.
I can't even say his name.
No fraud,
Mr.
really?
Roth.
Why didn't you take a look all over the country? There's
Yoel
cases
is going
all
to get
over the
death
country.
threats. So
If we
good
went
job,
to mail-in
American
balloting,
president,
our
Vice
election
President
all over the world would
of
look as a
everyone.
total joke. It would be a total joke. There's
Exactly
such
right,
fraud
Bishop.
and abuse and you know about harvesting, where they harvest the ballots and they go and grab them and they go to people's houses and they say, sign here. No, it doesn't work. Now, an absentee ballot.
Oh,
you
hold
can't
on,
be
someone's
there
at the
or you're
door.
sick,
What?
and you go and you register.
You're going to
do all
force me to
sorts of
sign a
things to
ballot?
get that ballot.
Okay.
And there's good security measures, but where they send out, like in California, millions and millions of ballots to anybody that's breathing.
No.
Anybody in California that's breathing gets a ballot.
That's a lie.
true.
That is the
California-
President of the
This is
United
what I'm
States
not-
lying about
So
elections.
here's your
Totally
here's your
okay.
man, and that's on Twitter.
Here's your target right here.
The
This is
amazing
the guy
thing
you
is
want to
he's
threaten to
wrong.
death.
Even no matter who it is, they will admit that he's wrong because there's tremendous controversy on mail-in voting. And I can say this, the Republican Party cannot let it happen. Go ahead.
Well, you know, Gavin Newsom,
And yet it works in
Newsom
Utah.
has not sent ballots out to everybody in California.
Yeah.
They're only going
Good.
to registered voters.
How many are there?
So,
How many?
Active.
so what your
Active
what your
registered
tweet
voters. Come on.
said was not wrong. It
Sorry
was
for
not
the
correct.
thumping.
It was wrong.
Okay. Oh, really? So when he
Yes,
sends out
really.
28 million ballots, and they're in all the mailboxes, and kids go and they raid the mailboxes and they hand them to people that are signing the ballots. down
The
the
kids
end
are
of the
doing
street,
it.
Which is
The
happening.
kids are doing the
They grab
election fraud.
ballots. You don't think that happens? There's ballot harvesting where all of us, we had 7 elections for Congress.
I like
And they were
Slurpees from
tied,
7 elections.
And they lost every one of them because they came and they dropped a whole pile of ballots on the table. But you don't think they rip them out of mailboxes? It's all the
Kids?
time. You read about it. You can
No.
read about it. Take a
No,
look.
it doesn't
They do
happen.
worse than that. In
Maybe
some cases,
once.
they won't sell them like
The
to
kids.
a Republican community, a conservative community. They don't happen to send the ballots to those communities. And there's no way of checking. No, you have to go and you have to
Except
vote.
that if you don't receive your
Voting is
ballot.
a great thing. Voting, we would be the laughing stock of the world.
You are the
If
left.
you just use common sense, you know that's going to happen. But they raid the mailboxes.
The kids,
They can even
the kids
print the
come
ballots.
and
They
they
get the
raid the
same paper,
mailboxes
the same
and they
machine,
step on my
nothing
lawn.
special. They get the same paper, the same machine. They print
No,
ballots.
nobody
And Bill would have to do a great
is
job to
printing
catch them doing
ballots.
it, or your
They
state
have
authorities would
barcodes
have
on
to.
them.
But you have tremendous potential, and you have tremendous fraud and abuse, but you have tremendous potential for fraud and abuse. Go ahead.
Mr. President, you had said in one of your tweets that you would consider
Hi,
shutting
Rogue.
down Twitter and social media companies. Did you actually mean you would want to shut down an
Well, I
American
think it's going to
company?
be, I tell you what, I have so much, it seems, influence over Twitter in the sense of people wanting to go Twitter because of what I have. I have a vast number, we have a number of platforms, as you know. We have millions and millions of people. I think this, if Twitter
Just
were
stop doing
not
Twitter.
honorable, if you're going to have a guy like this be your judge and jury, I think you shut it down as far as I'm concerned, but I'd have to go through a
How-
legal process to do
How would
that.
you
Right,
shut down
and
an
I don't know.
You
I'd have
couldn't.
to ask the lawyers. I'd have to go through a
Because
legal process.
we have something called the
If
First
it were
Amendment.
Legal, if it were able to be legally shut down, I would do it.
It cannot be.
I think I'd be hurting it very badly if we didn't use it anymore. I mean, we have other sites we could use, I guess.
Hurt 'em.
Or we'd
Do
have
it.
to develop other sites.
Come on, big
But-
guy, be tough.
And I'm not just talking about Twitter. Look at Facebook. Look at the tribunal they set up at Facebook. This woman who, you remember testifying recently in Congress, her hatred was so incredible toward the Republican Party and me that there is no way you can get a fair trial. So this is not like it's supposed to be.
Well,
This is not like it's supposed to be.
A
So we're
Facebook
gonna
trial?
see what happens. And you know what? I guess
he talking
it's
about
gonna
a
be
Roger Stone
challenging.
trial?
What isn't? But I think we'll do very well. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. President.
New York Post, worse.
As to potential litigation, can you discuss the timing of that?
Hey,
and what
okay,
is the remedy
reporters,
that you're going to be
listen to
seeking?
me. 100,000
What I was
dead.
referring to, there is.
This is the
litigation
shiny
going on
penny.
all the time on
100,000
Section 230.
Americans
We
dead.
look for appropriate vehicles to weigh in and file statement of interest.
So you wouldn't be filing an
Not
individual?
necessarily.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. President,
Mr.
President,
Are you worried about the situation on the border between India and China?
India. He loves India so much he's never asked a question other than an India question, and that's okay.
You
I
know,
just got back
the
from
Indian
India, right?
reporter.
I just beat COVID.
You're very
I got back. I know. They like me in India. I think they like me in India certainly more than the media likes me in this country. No, and I like Modi. I like the
just
Prime
beat
Minister a
COVID?
lot. He's a great gentleman.
Did he just say he
Great
beat
gentleman. Yeah, they have a
COVID?
big conflict going with India and China. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah?
Yes.
They have a big conflict going with India and China.
He doesn't know anything about
Two
it.
countries with 1.4 billion people. Two countries with very powerful militaries.
Verbal kitty litter.
And India's not happy, and probably China's not happy. But I can tell you, I did speak to Prime Minister Modi. He's not
Did he say that, Chris? Did he just say,
Not,
I just beat
in a
COVID?
good mood about what's going on with China.
I can't rewind right now.
Have you spoken to the
Wait, are you finished?
No, so what, yesterday you tweeted about you want to mediate between India
Yesterday
and
you
China on
tooted?
this issue.
I would do that. I would do that if they thought it would help. If I were the mediator or the arbiter, I would do that. So we'll see. Go ahead.
Have you spoken to the family of George
If I was a
Floyd yet?
mediator,
No, I haven't, but I feel very, very badly. It's a very shocking sight. Bill and I were
Karen in
talking
chief.
about it before. It's one of the reasons Bill's here right now, because as you know, we're very much involved. And I've asked the Attorney General, FBI, and the Attorney General to take a very strong look and to see what went on, because that was a very, very bad thing that I saw. I saw it last night, and I didn't like it.
Do you think those police officers should be prosecuted?
I'm not going to make any comment right now. I can tell you, I think what I saw was
And he's gonna
not
make a
good.
comment.
Was not good. Very bad. Anybody else?
Mr. President, are you definitively staying in the U.S.-China trade deal?
We'll be announcing
We'll see what
we're
happens.
doing tomorrow with respect to China.
probably
And
not.
We are not happy with China. We are not happy with what's happened. All over the world.
We'll rewind right
people are
after this.
suffering. 186 countries. All over the world they're suffering. We're not happy. Okay. Thank you very much,
All
everybody.
right, press, let's go. Come on. Come
Press,
on.
let's go.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you, sir.
Do you have any further comments on 100,000 American dead, sir? Do you wish now that you had done testing before March 6th that would have amounted with far fewer deaths? Do you wish that you would shut down the country just a week earlier? Do you wish that you would shut down the country at all, sir? Oh no, we'll just leave. Heading out. Okay, all right. So that was executive kitty litter. That his order does absolutely nothing. And they asked Bill Barr, "Does this make Twitter illegal?" No, it doesn't. They didn't use the word illegal. Just in case you want to fact check me. You can fact check me. I've been doing nothing but eating here in California this last week because I have a bunch of food in the fridge. I don't want it to go bad. I'm moving. I don't want all that food to go bad. So it's my duty as an environmentalist to eat as much as possible. This doesn't explain why I stopped by 7-Eleven for the Slurpees. Okay, let's go back on this. Let's see if we can go back. I want to see if he actually said, I just beat COVID. Okay. That was a while ago, Marfa. Yes, the reporter said, I am real. That's the live event. No, okay, we're on the replay already. Good for you, C-SPAN. Let's go back.
The world. And if you just use common sense, you know that's going to happen. But they
Okay,
just
that's
go
the
ahead.
Mr. President, you had said in one of your Twitter
Process. If it were legal, if it were
This is. I want to see him give his book report again.
As to potential litigation, can you discuss the timing of that and what is the remedy?
they have a big conflict going with,
Oh, here we go. Okay.
right?
Border between India and China.
India.
Okay, so he's asked about the conflict between India and China, which is, this is his response because he doesn't know anything about it. India and China. China and India. Two big countries with populations of 1.4 billion. He's wrong, but anyway, they are big countries, but they don't both have the same population. Anyway, let's just listen. I want to see if he says here that he beat COVID. Let me turn on closed captions. See if we get lucky here. Sometimes they have them live, sometimes they don't. Boop. Okay, let's see what he says. Donate, says Presidenting While Black. Okay, yes, donate to me. He said COVID-19. He said COVID-19. Did you hear my here? I don't know. I'm so lost right now. Yeah, if you want to donate to me to help me do this sort of nonsense, kevinleefather.com. I'm assuming that's what you're meaning, President While Black.
He loves India so much, he's never asked a question other than an India question, and that's...
Mr. President,
And we would look for appropriate vehicles to weigh in and file statement of interest.
So you wouldn't be filing an
Not
individual?
necessarily.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. President,
Mr. President, are you worried about the situation on the border between India and China?
India, he loves India so much, he's never asked a question other than an India question, and that's okay. I just got back from India, right? I just beat COVID.
You're very
I got back. I know. They like me in India. I think
Maybe he's saying he beat COVID back into the country because he came back while COVID was seeding itself. Does anybody understand what he said there? I just beat COVID.
Ask a question other than an India question, and that's okay. I just got back from India, right?
Oh, donate my food. Yes. Okay. Well, I'm going to take it as a plug anyway. Yeah. If you'd like to donate to me, kevinleefather.com. I can't donate the frozen stuff. This is all frozen stuff that I'm eating. We had a full freezer, and I got to eat it. You can't donate frozen food. But yes, a lot of the canned goods, etc., are being donated.
I just beat COVID. I got back. I know. They like me in India. I think they like me in India.
I'm sorry. Hold on. I got to refresh the screen. I'm working on my laptop right now, which is older than I am, so...
Other than an India question, and that's okay. I just got back from India, right?
There we go.
I just beat COVID. I got back. I know. They like me in India. I think they like me in India, certainly more than the media likes me in this country. No, and I like Modi. I like your prime minister a lot. He's a great gentleman. Great.
Again, the question is, conflict, India, China, what are your thoughts? I like Modi. Modi had that rally down in Texas with him. So, yeah, I think you guys are right. I think, Kalapi, you're right. And Airbus, he beat COVID to India or back from India, which is wrong in both senses.
Gentlemen, yeah, they have a big conflict going with India and China. Is that what you're talking about? Yeah?
Yes.
They have a big conflict going with India and China.
Again, that's what he said. He's now said India and China 4 times.
2 countries with 1.4 billion people. 2 countries with very powerful militaries. And
Yeah, go on. What else was in the book report that you obviously didn't read, Donald?
India's not happy, and probably China's not happy. But I can tell you, I did speak to Prime Minister Modi. He's not
He's not happy?
in a good mood about what's going on with China.
Mr. President, have you spoken to...
Wait, are you finished?
No, sir, so what, yesterday you tweeted about you want to mediate between India and China on this issue.
I would do that. You know, I would do that if they thought it would help. If I were the mediator or the arbiter, I would do that.
Same thing, but yeah.
Have you spoken to the family of George Floyd?
India actually does have a powerful military. They both have powerful militaries, just in the sense, China, extremely powerful. India, also in the sense that they have so many soldiers. I mean, they've got a population base. So, yeah, they both have powerful armies. And nukes, tanks, warships, American planes, Chinese planes. Yeah, we do not want them getting into a fight. I heard 2-2, but that's just his accent, so I'm going to laugh about it, but I'm not going to make fun of him. Okay, India and China. And then somebody else had mentioned something about, Marfa, that you're not real. But that's, I don't know where that was. It was way
Found
back.
Has the broadest bipartisan
Weren't fake, I would not even think about. I would
Oh,
do
I
that
might find it here.
that want to do this, and so I think you could possibly have a bipartisan situation. But
You know what,
you're
guys?
fed up with it, and
I'm fed up with it. I missed the very, very beginning because, again, laptop moving. Let's go back to the very beginning, see what he says. It was cute. And, no, you're absolutely right, Obamagate. I'm going to call you Obamagate.
thank you very much. We're here today to defend free speech from one of the gravest dangers it has faced in American history, frankly. And you know what's going on as well as anybody. It's not good.
I'm glad we went back. Twitter is the greatest danger to free speech in American history. Twitter, the free platform for expressing yourself. Is it because you're limited to 280 characters? He doesn't know how to tweet thread, so...
A small handful of powerful social media monopolies controls a vast portion of all public and private communications in the United States. And we know what they are. We don't have to name them. We're going to give you
Goes on to name all of them.
a complete listing. We're going to give you a signed copy of what I'm going to be signing couple of minutes and you'll see exactly what we're doing. They've had unchecked power to censor, restrict, edit, shape, hide, alter virtually any form of communication between private citizens or large public audiences. There's no precedent in American history for so small a number of corporations to control so large a sphere of human interaction.
We
And
didn't
that
have the
includes
internet during the
individual people
1917 flu.
controlling vast amounts of
At C-SPAN, not me.
territory, and we can't allow that to happen, especially when they go about doing what they're doing, because they're doing things incorrectly.
Doing
They
what
have
they're
points of
doing.
view, and if we go by that, it's actually amazing that there was a success in 2016, but we can't